Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at processing wood into firewood. Now, we have a Vermont casting stove in both the garage, hall, and in the house. So we go through a lot of wood, and that's how we primarily heat our house in the winter. We do have a furnace that we can use if we're away, but we go through about 10 cords of wood a winter in the house and the garage. And as you can see here, we try to process about 20 cords a year, and then that way we use 1 year that's already been drying for 2, and then we have another year and another year on top of it. So we try to stay ahead on our wood. Now we bring it in the big roundels. A lot of times we can split them directly, but most of the time with the really big trees on the bottoms that are anywhere from 3, 4, and 5 feet in diameter, we have to cut those in sections and then vertically split them with the log splitter. But as you can see here, we stack wood by the garage, we stack it on the back property line. You'll see later we stack it on another property line. We have holders by the back door, we have holders in the house, and we have holders by the fireplace. So we can load up quite a bit of wood and have it all out of the weather before a storm comes. And as you can see here, we just bring the wood in, we dump it in the backyard. We have a log splitter. And with the log splitter, we just go to town. Here's the rack that we keep by the back door so that we can just reach out. We also have a rack very similar in the pantry, and then we have racking next to the fireplace on the wood hearth. And as you can see here, we stack it under the window. Believe it or not, in the winter, we take the screens off because of the snow, and then you can just reach out the window and grab wood should you want to. And then here's the other property line that we put a double stack on. So like I say, it's nice when you have good dry wood and give it the time to dry properly. You know, you can cut it in the spring and you can burn it in winter, but we like after a year, it's been out for a whole winter with very dry air here in Ohio, it tends to dry out fairly quickly. But the second year wood is just so dry, it's like hitting 2 bowling pins together when you go to burn it. So you get a good hot fire, and we like the Vermont castings with all the controls on it. We can control it. And as you can see here we are in the middle of making piles of wood everywhere around the house while other stuff is going on. So ladies and gentlemen, it can be quite a bit of fun. It is good exercise, and for those of you who are thinking about something like this, I spend about 2 weeks every summer processing wood for the winter, and that's 8 hours a day, splitting and stacking and hauling wood. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but then again, I'm not paying $1,200 a month for heating oil to keep my house warm in the winter. We just bring in more wood. The Vermont castings allow you to empty the ash pan with the fire going. So usually when we light a fire in October, it stays burning until about the beginning of May. So ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at processing a lot of wood fairly quickly and efficiently to burn in the fireplace. And as you can see, we stacked it everywhere. Some of it will be in the weather. We will cover it with boards and tarps and stuff to keep it from washing down into it. But again, you get a wide variety of wood, and this is all hardwood. Even though with the Vermont castings, they can burn the softwoods and the deciduous trees. And as you can see here, here's some of the big roundels that we get from tree services. They're happy not to have to pay to store them. We just cut them into pieces and we put them on the splitter. And there's my wife Luann to kind of give you a scale for the size of the wood that we can process with the chainsaws and the wood splitters. Now, it's not without some drawbacks. I mean, it will do some damage to your yard. You have to place to park all the equipment and keep it running. But as you're cutting it up, you're going to get a lot of chipping. We break up the chipping, we use it for mulching around the beds, and you get a lot of sawdust, which sawdust can also do the same thing or go into the compost heap. And when you're cutting big roundels like that with a good sharp blade on your chainsaw, you will generate a lot of sawdust. So be prepared for it. Some people cut on a tarp, and then we also have a small sawmill so we can make planer lumber. We rack it and store it and flatten it like that for a year. And then we can sometimes take a good looking log and make a bench out of it. And you can see the sawmill on the back where we have a nice big square piece of lumber where we're getting ready to cut it into boards. So again, and then here's the bench that you can make. It's nice and smooth. Come back with a sander and then some outdoor oil, and you're ready to go for a nice bench. So ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot you can do when you're processing firewood. Hope you found all this useful and informative. Thanks so much for watching, and have fun with your day.